With the release of the Garfield movie, we now have 3 theatrically released Garfield films, but we have 6 Garfield films altogether. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 6 Garfield films ranked from the worst to the best. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SW Nation, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of all of the Garfield films ranked from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favorite. Come over here and join the SW Nation. We have a whole lot of fun here. You guys can check out that Twitter and that TikTok. That link is in the description. And also, please note that all of my shorts that are on this channel are posted to the TikTok first. So go over there and check out the TikTok and come back over to the regular channel for more elaborate reviews. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off our list at number 6 for me has got to go to Garfield Gets Real, a very nostalgic film for me. If you don't know what this is, it's one of those direct-to-DVD films that spun off from the Garfield show that I grew up with years past, and I had this much higher on the list until I realized that this movie is not memorable at all. The whole reason why I wanted to watch it, I was so excited to watch it because I wanted to relive my childhood, but all I could focus on was the choppy animation, which I've animated before. Not great, it's not better than this film, but I can tell when animation is choppy and weird, and the character designs are all weird. But on a positive note, though, I love the central plot of how Garfield is just having like a midlife crisis, and he wants to get away from cartoon world, so he goes inside of the real world. He wants to just be a regular cat just for a day. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Shrek Forever After in a case, and how in order for him to get back to cartoon world, he has to put his comic back in print. All of it feels very Garfield, but it's in last place for me. Kicking off the top 5 list has got to go to Garfield Pet Force. It works as a nice distraction and diversion from the other films because it appeals to me a bit more with the superheroes and the action spectacle. In fact, this is actually the 3rd one. It's the last one, and this is the one that I never really watched for real. I watched Garfield Gets Real. I watched Garfield Fun Fest before, all on Netflix. But my cousin had Pet Force, and we never actually sat down and watched Pet Force. And it's so crazy that he had it, but I never actually sat down and watched it. So this entire movie should appeal to me, and that's why it's above Gets Real, because it just has everything that worked for me. So other than that fun Elseworld stuff, it's really the same old direct-to-DVD movie for me. Only this time, it seems like almost every scene just isn't fully rendered. Number 4, the Garfield movie. I don't know if I'm going to get flack for this. I know a lot of people on my comment section of my shorts and my review, you guys can go check that out. The link is in the description. I don't know if a lot of people actually, didn't like the movie as much as I didn't like it. Because in my comments, a lot of people liked the movie. They said they found it to be okay. They found it to be fun. So I think it's harmless enough. I didn't find it terrible, but I expected it not to be good. I don't think any Garfield is just great. So I expected this movie to be kind of the same. It leaps over 6 and 5 though with animation and star power, but the story feels just as lazy as those films. I never wanted answers to the question, who's Garfield's dad? Or how did Garfield meet John? This movie is structured in a way that if you took out the name Garfield, the IP Garfield, the movie is just a generic Sony Pictures flick. Then you start asking the question, why does this film exist? It's generic, it's bland, it's familiar. The Garfield movie just has animation and star power going for it. Kicking off a top 3 list for me is Garfield Fun Fest. This is the most memorable of the direct-to-DVD films for me, and it's still the best of the direct-to-DVD films. This is the one that I rewatched the most. When I was rewatching this movie, just all of the nostalgia was coming back to me. I was like, wow, this is so crazy that I grew up with this. I grew up with this show. I grew up with this movie, and I'm talking about it on YouTube. This is so much fun. But the central plot here is that Garfield forgets what it means to be funny. So he goes on a quest, and along the way, he relearns what it means to be funny. Now, aside from the obvious nostalgia, this entire film is fundamentally Garfield to me. Also, it's a better adventure than the last 3 films on this list. My runner-up at number 2 is Garfield the Movie. This is my Garfield movie, the original. Right off the bat, Bill Murray's sarcastic, dry humor and voice lends itself well to this fat, lazy cat. Yes, the plot is familiar, but the film is a product of its time. 2004 is a year for cringy movies other than Spider-Man and Shrek 2, and Garfield's no different. There's a bunch of novelty in seeing a live-action Nermal or Odie. Even some of the jokes land for me.
Get him, Garfield!
Get him, John.
What's holding it back is Garfield isn't very likable in this film. And with how mean he is to Odie, without Bill Murray voicing him, I think this character would be pretty unbearable. But coming in at my number one for me has got to go to Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. With the first film being a success, we got a sequel in 2006, and boy does it look and feel like one. I love 2006 films. They just do something for me because I'm very nostalgic on them. I grew up watching a lot of early 2000 films. Before the 2010s, that's where most of my love for movies come from. It's just the movies that I watched growing up from the early 2000s. So the 2004 original and this sequel was one that I always watched. I've always watched the trailer for this film. So it's very nostalgic for me to actually finally sit down and really watch it. I've watched the first Garfield movie because I had the DVD to it. This one, I didn't have the DVD to it. I just always saw the trailer on different DVDs for different 2006 movies that I own. This movie is very familiar of other life-switching films, and you know what? It doesn't try to be different. It just wants to entertain. They make Garfield more of a dude bro here. I would have loved a more lazy one again, but you know, it is fine. He's doing flips, he's dancing in mansions and stuff. It's fine enough, but there's something charming and enjoyable about this film. Yes, it's uninspired, and the plot isn't interesting still, but it's like a comfort movie for me, and I think that's okay. There are certain films that can work as comfort movies, and there's also certain films that literally try to be good that just weren't. This movie doesn't try at all. It just wants to entertain, and I think that's okay. This is why Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties has to come in at number one. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video is just my very own opinion, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of all of the Garfield films that you have seen, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favor, you can add in the TV show as well. You don't even have to add in the direct-to-DVD movies like I did. Comment that down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok. That link is in the description. All of my shorts are posted on the TikTok first, then to the YouTube second. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Peace.